Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week wisdom and legacy building podcast. Today is day 676 of our trek, and it is Wisdom Wednesday. Every Wednesday along Life's Trail, we will dig for the nuggets of wisdom that are found within the book of Proverbs. Today, we will explore Proverbs 23 from the Voice translation, which will give us a fresh perspective on this book of timeless wisdom. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. Since Paula and I will be traveling for business the last half of August, I am recording all of these podcasts in advance. We will be substituting our regular podcast for short Wisdom Nugget episodes for the 3 weeks, except for our Wisdom Wednesday episodes. After that, we will return to our regular format. Today in Proverbs 23, we will learn what not to do. As we continue the 30 sayings for the wise, we find that many of them are short poems of varying length. Here in chapter 23, we find the next 12 sayings. The majority of these 12 sayings have to do with restraint. Notice the repetition of the words, do not, let not, be not. For every parent, these are familiar words. Parents often tell their kids what not to do out of love for them, as they are actually trying to protect their children from the consequences of their actions. Any person who wants to live a healthy and productive life needs to know what not to do. After a while, these do-nots become more natural. We also learn that the wise person avoids being easily flattered, trying to get rich, talking too much, meddling in the businesses of others, neglecting their children, envying selfish people, hanging out with lazy friends, disrespecting their parents, and drinking too much. Notice how many references there are in this chapter to the heart, such as verses 12, 15, 17, 19, 26, and 33. And also the eye in verses 5, 26, 31, and 33. These are the gateways to a person's inner life. These sayings are warnings to guard your thoughts and feelings. As you listen or read to these sayings, ask the Lord, what can you do to better discipline your desires? So listen intently now as I read Proverbs chapter 23. When sitting down to eat with a ruler, take a moment to think about who you are with and what you are doing. If you are the type who eats too much too fast, do whatever is necessary to curb your enthusiasm for food. Also, do not eye the ruler's delicacies, for the food may not be what it seems. Do not overwork yourself just to become wealthy. Have enough sense to know when to quit. As soon as you become fixed on riches, they vanish, for suddenly they sprout wings and become like a soaring eagle flying high in the sky. Do not sit down and eat bread with a tight-fisted fellow or desire his delicacies. For deep down, he's keeping track of the cost. He may say, eat up, drink your fill, but he does not mean a word of it. You'll be sick and lose what little you did eat, and you'll waste your breath carrying on a pleasant conversation. Do not waste your wisdom on a fool, for he doesn't care about anything that you have to say. Do not shift the property line by moving the boundary markers your ancestors established, or tried to steal property from orphans, because their Redeemer is strong, and he will plead their case against you. Develop a disciplined life. Be attentive so that you'll be well informed. Do not withhold discipline from your children, since corporal punish will not kill them. In fact, it may be the kind of punishment that will save them from an early grave. My son, if you live wisely, then my life will be fulfilled. My very soul will jump for joy when you speak what is true and right. Don't be envious of those wrapped up in sin, but always maintain a healthy respect for the eternal. Your future with him will be certain, and you will not have hoped in vain. Listen, my son, be wise, and steer your life on the right course. Do not spend time with heavy wine drinkers or those who gorge themselves on meat, for both the drunk and the glutton will end up broke, sleeping life away and clothed in rags. Pay attention to your father. After all, he gave you life, and don't ignore your mother in her old age. Invest in truth, sock it away. Never cash in wisdom, guidance, or insight. The parents of the right living will celebrate. Yes, parents of children who make wise choices are happy. So make your parents happy. Delight your mother. After all, she brought you into this world. My son, devote yourself to me fully. Observe my ways and follow my directions. Being drawn to a prostitute is like falling down into a deep well, and being involved with a wicked woman is like descending into a narrow well. You may never get out alive. She waits for you, ready to ambush you like a thief, and ready to multiply unfaithfulness among men. Who is wallowing in anguish? Who is full of sorrow? Who has conflicts? Who has complaints? Who has bruises and can't remember where they came from? Who has bloodshot eyes? You know who. Those who stay up late finishing off wine. Those who can't stop savoring spiced wines. Look away from the enticing beauty of wine, the deep red hue. Ignore how it shimmers in the cup and glides down your throat. Eventually, when you least expect it, it will strike like a snake and sting like a viper's venom. Your vision will blur. You'll imagine strange things. You'll say crazy, hurtful things and regret it later. You will reel and stagger as if caught in a wave of seasickness, as a sailor who holds onto the mast for dear life. You will say, they slapped me, but it didn't hurt. They beat me, and I didn't feel a thing. Whenever I wake up from this stupor, I'll have another drink. That will conclude our exploration of Proverbs 23. The precepts found in God's Word have the laws of planting and harvesting built into them. If you plant good seeds in your life, you will reap a bountiful harvest of good. The opposite is also true. Over the course of our lives, we will harvest what we plant. Each week, we will explore a full chapter in Proverbs. I hope that you'll join us next week for Proverbs chapter 24, so that you'll gain wisdom, insight, and understanding for yourself. The entire book of Proverbs provides us with rich wisdom, insight, and understanding on a myriad of life issues. And regardless of where you are on your faith walk, if the precepts of Proverbs are followed, your life will be rich and satisfying. I encourage you to take them and plant the seeds of wisdom into your heart so that you'll reap a harvest of wisdom throughout your life. Tomorrow we will continue with our 3-minute Wisdom Nugget that will provide you with a bit of wisdom that, if followed, will allow you to grow healthier, wealthier, and wiser each day. So encourage your friends and family to join us and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. That will finish our trek for today. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks or read the Wisdom Journal, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. You can also subscribe to iTunes or Google Play so that each day's trek will be downloaded to you automatically. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most of all, I am your friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.